What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Trey's Trades, where we give technical analysis on different stocks in the stock market, as well as potential buy, hold, or sell opinions on these given stocks. I'd like to preface by saying that I am not a financial advisor nor expert. I am just some random dude on YouTube, so take what I say with a grain of salt. The reason that I started this channel is because a couple of years back, I was about $30,000 deep in some really bad medical debt, and I was very lucky to have some close family, friends, and mentors that pushed me to work really hard and invest my money in the stock market. And here I am sitting today, financially free and a much different guy. So if I can pass along any of those information, resources, or tools to you guys and change your lives just a little bit, hey, that's all a man can ask for. Lastly, if you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the video, it really does help support the channel, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. I do post videos daily, multiple times a day, and I do cover FuelCell Energy quite frequently, as I do like this stock quite a bit. So today we're going to be looking at ticker symbol FCEL, FuelCell Energy Incorporated. And one of my subscribers recommended that I try something out, so you'll have to let me know what you think of it. It was Rev Dr. Funny Shoe. He said, also, please move the mic away a bit so we don't hear all the inhales, please. And I've noticed this in the videos too, guys. I apologize for that. I've got the mic moved back a little bit. Please let me know in the comment section down below if that's a little better for you. Don't wanna hurt your eardrums if you got headphones in. But anyways, we're gonna be looking at FuelCell today and establish a couple different things. So I've got the 10-day chart pulled up here. We're gonna look at the overall trend, how bullish, how bearish we're looking overall. We're gonna look at the volume, the average volume, the volume moving average. I'll talk a little bit about the RSI, but I try not to pay too much attention to this because traders trade with emotion, as we've said before on this channel, but we will briefly touch on it and what I think it means. And I have a news article that I'd like to start with to give you an idea of why I like FuelCell so much. So we're going to start off by reading this article. I've got it pulled up right here for you. It says, FuelCell Energy is a promising stock in an overheated market. FuelCell stock has been on quite a ride in the past year. It's up more than 1,000% in the past 12 months. Yet year to date, the stock is only up, as if that's not a lot, 273%. That seems a bit odd, but it shows how alternative energy stocks are powering ahead with little resistance. First, FuelCell Energy's origin story. The company is similar to Bloom Energy in that it uses a fuel cell to convert natural gas or biogas into electricity. The middle part of the conversion, using a proprietary molten-carbonate fuel cell technology, produces hydrogen. So I'll leave the link to this in the description if you'd like to read it more closely, but I do want to talk about why it's been taking off. This year has been a boon for alternative energy companies. From the massive fires in the West and flooding across the nation, more people are realizing that energy insecurity is getting close to their homes. Now, I'm a realist. Like I don't think that FuelCell or Plug or Clean Energy or Bloom Energy, I don't think any of these companies are going to be the hottest companies in the US within the next year, right? It's going to take time. I think 95% of cars on the roads are still gas running, oil running cars, right? So this is going to be something that is going to take some time. It could be anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 years to truly see these companies take off in the car and the automobile sector. However, FuelCell, Plug, Clean Energy, these companies are starting to take off, and it is because of what we've seen in the country, right? In America, we've seen lots of wildfires, we've seen climate change, we can see that we're running out of fossil fuels, and this isn't a political thing to me. This is a science thing. I mean, we can look it up, and everybody talks about it, carbon emissions and all that sort of stuff. So FuelCell is a company that recognizes that, and they produce clean energy in a world where we need that clean energy, right? Plus, we have an electrical grid that would look familiar to Thomas Edison, and yet almost all our devices have electrical components, far more than in Edison's day. Then we had a massive shift in energy resources. Coal had been dying for years, and natural gas became a new, cleaner option, and the US had massive amounts of natural gas. So we've already made the shift one time, guys. And can you imagine when coal was the natural gas source, what people were saying about switching to gasoline? I guarantee you it was the same stuff. It was, that'll never work. We've been using coal for hundreds of years, blah, blah, blah. The coal's as good as it gets. It's the bee's knees, dude. Yeah, well, it's the same thing happening right now with gas, guys. It seems so unfathomable to think that something could change, but I guarantee you that it will. Things always change. The world's always changing. Think about business 10 years ago before the Apple iPhone came out. You know, can you imagine what life would be like without that? Life changes just like that. It doesn't take anything. And FuelCell could be one of those disruptors in the country, and I firmly believe it will be, and that's why I have a position in this stock. So we're going to look at the 10-day chart here. We can see that we opened up on the 17th at about 8.52, and we closed off here on the 30th at 11.74. So overall, we are about a bullish trend. And we are coming closer to the overall high on FuelCell for the last, I think, year. Yep. And it was actually brought to my attention by a subscriber that this stock used to be a powerhouse, like a freaking monster. Look at this. This is legit, guys. I looked this up. This stock used to be worth $7,833. Whoa, that's pretty nuts. Anyways, I don't see us going that far. Clean energy is cool, but that's a steep climb. Anyways, we do still have room to run, and I think this $12 mark, you know, eventually is going to be the next line here that we're looking for. So we're currently sitting in the after hours at $11.80. We are trading above the volume moving average. We have been above the volume moving average for the last day and a half, really. We started taking off in the after hours and pre-market yesterday, and we've just been up since. I mean, we had a little bit of a price rejection right here, so I will draw that up as a resistance line once we get to the 2-day chart. But if we can get over this level right here at 12.20, I think we'll be getting pretty close to 13 bucks. And for all of my position holders in FuelCell that follow the channel, I hope you guys held your positions. I hope that you were able to buy more on this solid dip down to $10.30. That was a perfect opportunity to improve your position in the stock, guys. It'll be hard for me to see this stock drop into the 10s again. Unless there's some pretty negative news catalyst that comes out, or we have some pretty major sell-offs. I think we're going to be looking at 12 bucks today. However, I'm not a wizard. I can't predict the future, so make sure you do your own due diligence. But I do think this company is going to cross that $20 mark relatively soon, within a month to 3 months, and beyond that, it has a lot more room for growth. Now, let's go to the 2-day chart here and take a look at the 1-minute time frame, and we're going to establish some levels of resistance and support. And I was asked by a couple of people how you find support and resistance. I do have a couple of videos on that, and they're in a playlist on my channel if you want to check them out. They're very simple. They're only like 3, 4, 5 minutes long. I tried to keep them as simple as possible because trading on support and resistance really is an easy thing, guys. I promise you. So let's take a look at a couple of levels here that we're going to have. What you're looking for with resistance is a couple of contact points and price rejection points. So if we zoom out here to 5 days, let's see if we have anything. 1, 2, 3. So this acted as a prior resistance in the past, this 1087. So that's 1, 2 contact points. We had some price rejection here, so that's 3, 4, 5. So I would consider this 1087 a pretty solid resistance line, and resistance support can also act as resistance, as you can see here. So in the past, this acted as a resistance line, but once we came above that, now it acts as a support level, right? So we bounced off of that, and we had some pretty solid price rejection to the upward direction. So that is our first level of support that I would watch for. If you want to write that down, 1087. If we do dip below that, I would expect that we come pretty close to $10 by the end of the day. And you guys know what we do if it drops below 1087, right? We scoop that up. We scoop it up. This is an opportunity not for you to get upset that your stock isn't going up, but to improve your position to dollar cost average down, because when we believe in the stocks that we invest in, it's just an opportunity to make more money, guys. I'm telling you. I love this company. I love this stock. I just get passionate. You have to give me a break. I'm sorry. We have a second, and I'll have to zoom out here to double check, but I'm going to guess a second support level right here. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 different contact points here. And we did come off of these pretty well. You can see here when we bounced off of 1139, it was a pretty solid bounce. I mean, we went up almost an entire dollar sign. It was about 90 cents or so. So I do feel pretty good about that as a secondary level of support. So have these numbers written down for the trading day. If we do drop below 1139, I'd expect to see a pretty harsh sell-off, because usually when you break through a level of support, sellers step in very hard and they try to punch the hammer down so they can maximize their profits. And if the same thing happens at 1087, if we get a candlestick that dips below that, I'd watch for 1, 2, 3 different candlesticks, and if they drop below that 1087, I'd expect a pretty hard sell-off. In the other side of things, I would expect if we go above this resistance right here at the candle wick of 1220, and candle wick sticks, dude, there's so much information in those. So what a candle wick stick is, guys, is buyers or sellers trying to push the price up in a given direction. So like, look at this one, for example. We opened at 1198 when we got up to 1210. The low was 1191. This tells us a lot, guys. This candlestick tells us, okay, there was buyers that tried to push the price up. It got up to, $12.10, but then sellers stepped in and said, this is too high of a price valuation for the company right now. So they pushed it back down, and that indicates how strong or weak buyers or sellers are in the market. And this candlestick kind of shows, some indecision right here, right? So we have a pretty long wick on the bottom, pretty long wick on the top, indecision. And shortly after that, we saw a little bit of a sell-off, so that kind of thing can be very indicative. In the same light, we have this candlestick right here, very, very long, no wicks really, they're very short wicks. That can be an indicator that buyers are strong. Or like here, sellers were strong, right? We opened up with a very thick wick, or a thick candle base, red candle, which means sellers were strong at the market, and that's why we saw a pretty steep sell-off. That's just to give you some examples of what's happening here. But I would look for that 1220 level on the stock, and if we do break over that, I believe $13 is going to be the next resistance line to watch for. We do have one other wick that's pretty indicative right here in the after hours market, sitting at about 1255, so do watch for that as well. So if we go through 1220, 1255, and then I would be watching very closely for $13. Lastly, I want you to watch the volume today, guys, because volume drives volatility and volatility drives higher price valuations. Look to see that we are sitting around the same amount of volume. In a 15-minute chart, we're usually looking at between 4 million to 2.5 million at market open. And if you see similar numbers, that's probably a good sign. Of course, it is New Year's Eve, so I would expect to see a little less volume today. It's tough to say for sure, but that's just my personal opinion. But just watch for that. And the RSI is the last thing I want to touch on. We have been actually maintaining pretty well between the 30 and the 70 here. We can see a pretty solid pattern of up, down, up. Maybe we might see it down here. It's tough to say for sure. If we do, just be prepared for it. Expect the worst and hope for the best. If we do drop back down below $11, it's an opportunity to scoop up more shares anyways. That's what I will be doing. I just got paid by the Army yesterday, and I'm going to put a fat $1,000 into this account so that I can increase my positions when red days come. So that is all that I have for the video today, guys. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. If you'd like to join the family out here in the community, please consider subscribing to the channel, as I do post videos every single day. And I just started a new series called Subscriber Recommended stocks. So I will be covering one subscriber recommended stock every single day, and all you need to do for me to cover it is make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and drop one in the comment section down below, and I will get to you as soon as I can. I've got a solid list going right now, and yeah, that's all I got for you. So thanks for coming to the channel, and I will see you all next time. Peace.